What's going on and what's good, my fellow YouTubers and Facebook friends and family? I got a little something that I'd love to share with you guys that I truly believe that will impact your life in a way that is really unmeasurable. It's going to create tremendous success for you going forward if you learn to grasp what I'm going to teach you and if you implement it in your life. And it's a thing called taking action. I want to discuss with you the importance of taking action, consistent, decisive action. But before I do, I kind of want to share with you why it is I want to talk about this today. I usually like to get into the whys of things. And excuse me, I'm sitting here looking a mess because I literally just rolled out of bed. It's like noon and I decided to take a nap. I never do this, but today, it was just one of those days. Anyway, so the reason that I want to discuss taking action is because, as most of you know, as I've repeated numerous times, I have been making money from home since about 2005, roughly, on a part-time basis for the most part. Till more recently, within the last 2 years, I actually created a full-time income. With that said, throughout the course of these years, I've ran into literally countless people, friends, family, some people I don't know, who have shared their stories with me. They'll inbox me, they'll contact me, and let me know that they need help. They need some type of, assistance to change their lives. Their financial situations just aren't panning out. They have a dead-end job. They just don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. And, I'll give them the information, let them know what's working for me, how my wife and I are creating an additional income in addition to our jobs. And for whatever reason, most of them do not take action. Now, fast forward several years, and most of these people, unfortunately, are still in the same boat. After inquiring with me numerous times throughout the years of different ventures I've been involved with, still they never take action. It's no wonder why they're still in the same boat. Financially, spiritually, mentally. And so that's why I want to discuss how taking action has changed my life, in ways I can't even describe. I mean, it literally has just skyrocketed my results. So let's go ahead and get into that. Most of us can remember the first day we rode a bike, right? In the beginning, obviously the bike was shaky. You were bouncing all over the place, scared out of your life that you're going to fall and crack your head open on the sidewalk, right? And what you did is you began pumping those legs. You began pushing the pedals. And as the time went on, the bike started to straighten out. You started to gain momentum, started to gain velocity. And with that movement, with that action, in no time, you had that bike straight and you were like a professional BMX mountain bike rider, right? You were running all over the place. We can all recall the first time we drove a car. I can. You were probably a ball of nerves, getting behind that wheel. And what you did was you popped that key in the ignition. You slowly put your foot on the gas and you drove around like a snail for the first few minutes. And before you know it, through repetitive action, you were like a NASCAR driver, right? They couldn't get you from behind that wheel. You see, everything in life involves action. Everything. From a seed sprouting, in a crop. It involves action. You got to till the soil, right? You got to water it. You got to tend to that crop. And then it blossoms. Life is based on action. You can't allow fear and doubt to hold you back. Now, that's why most of us don't take action. It's fear. So how do we overcome that obstacle? Well, for one, you have to first understand that you've been already doing this forever. I just gave you some examples. You've been overcoming fear forever. Give me just a second. Excuse me. I had the phone ringing in the other room. But let's get back to where we were. How do we overcome these fears, these doubts, these self-defeating talk that's going on inside our head? Well, first and foremost, you have to remember you've been doing it all your life already. I gave you a few examples: riding bikes, learning to drive. I mean, when you were a baby, learning to walk. Going to through those first day jitters on the job where you're scared, and you eventually overcome it, right? And you overcome it through action. A real good way to get over fear and lack of confidence is first figuring out the opposite. What gives you confidence? And you gain confidence through competence, through knowing, through understanding. Well, how do you learn to understand the situation you're afraid of? For instance, a home-based business. Well, you become competent in that home-based business. You learn what you need to learn about it, right? You go out and you study it, you research it, you do your due diligence. And once you understand it and you grasp it, you take action. You don't sit there and procrastinate, because every moment that passes, your momentum wanes. It's like riding the bike. If you don't keep pedaling, you're going to fall over by the wayside. You have to keep pedaling. And it all starts with a vision, guys and girls. A vision. See, most of us have wants, things we want out of life. But very few of us have visions. Well, there's a difference. A vision cannot be altered. It's deeply etched inside every fiber of you, inside your soul. You have to have a vision to hold on to cling to on those times when you're fearful, when you're slipping, when you're falling, when things may not be going your way. So if you want to see success in your life, you have to learn to take action. You got to become competent. You got to have a vision. That vision has to be so deep, burning inside of you that nothing will ever cause you to falter, to lose course. That's not saying you're not going to have trip-ups and you're not going to stumble. But that vision is going to keep you getting up every single time, dusting yourself off and pushing forward. And so I wanted to share that with you, because I know there's somebody out there that this really rings a bell with you. This really touches a nerve, because it may be you that's doing this. You may see opportunities come to you time and time again, things that ignite something in you, and for whatever reason, well, now we know the reason, you don't take action. You need to start taking action. It is through action that productivity comes. Action begets results. Inaction begets zero results. So let me clarify that one more time, and then I'll close this out. And I'm going to use the car analogy again, because it's so simple to understand and you can relate to it. In order for a vehicle to take you from point A to point B, what do you have to do? First, as we said before, you get behind the wheel, right? You're sitting there. You're in the moment, right? The vehicle is the opportunity, the business that just came across you and you're in front of you. Then you got to grab the key. Stick that key in the ignition. Ignition, ignite the fire, the dream, the vision. You got to have that vision. Ignition is the vision. It turns everything on, gets it all up and running, right? Then you grab the wheel and you press the gas. What is the gas? Action, right? Momentum, velocity. You got one other key ingredient, the fuel. What is the fuel? What gets a business going? Positive, motivational, uplifting, inspirational information in the front door all the time. You got to be absorbing positive, inspirational, motivational information. If you're throwing out trash out the front door or out the back door, but you're bringing trash in the front door, I should say, what good is it doing for you? You got to watch what you allow into your life, people. Now, this is a long video, probably longer than one I've ever done, but It's important because I see so many people let their dreams fall by the wayside because they're afraid to take action. If it's not life and death, if it's not going to cause you to die, do it. I'm not saying be foolish and get into everything that comes your way. Do your due diligence. Be smart about it. Study. Get all the information you need, but then be decisive. Take action. Start moving. Sometimes the best way to learn to swim is just getting your ass kicked into the pool, right? Because then you realize how important oxygen is, and you start paddling them arms and kicking them legs, and somehow miraculously you learn how to swim. You see, there's someone out there right now looking at this that knows exactly what I'm talking about. Nothing goes right for you. Everything you touch seems to fall apart. You have a dead-end job. You don't feel like anything ever goes your way. And then all of a sudden, this cat walks in the room, right? The sea splits, the furniture moves out the way, a light is following this person around, and it seems as though everything they touch turns to gold. People just gravitate towards them. You all know what we're talking about. I used to feel this way. And you look at this person, you're like, what the hell do they have that I don't have? What magical formula, magical secret sauce did they rub on themselves? You know, what's the recipe the secret recipe that I don't have that they have? I'll tell you what. It's not secret, okay, and it's not magical. It's action. They simply take action. It's not that they don't fall and they don't have mishaps and temporary setbacks, but they never fail because they never quit. They continue to take action. So that's it today, guys. I know this is a long video. If you stuck through it, I commend you. Start taking action. Do not let your dreams go to waste. You got one life. Make your mark. All right. With that said, I'm out. Peace. God is love. Hope to see you on the other side. Later.